This is my presentation on Brian Iwata. Brian Iwata is a present-day behavior analyst and researcher who focuses his research on learning disorders and problem behavior in people. He is best known for developing the first model of functional analysis of problem behavior, which functions in identifying the variables that cause or assist in causing problem behavior. In this analysis, classes of reinforcers are evaluated, antecedents and functions of problem behavior are identified, and a treatment is proposed and experimented in decreasing or extinguishing problem behavior. This type of analysis is used to date in behavior analysis. I will be going over some of the research and studies Iwata has done with colleagues and the outcomes. The titles of the articles found are as follows: Elimination of Position Bias Responding in Individuals with Autism and Intellectual Disabilities, a comparison of two pairing procedures to establish praise as a reinforcer, assessment and treatment of foot-shoe fetish displayed by a man with autism, topographical and functional properties of precursors to severe problem behavior, and comparison of edible and leisure reinforcers. All of the articles by Iwata and his colleagues all have one thing in common: the analysis of an aspect of a behavior. In some of the sources, he evaluates the effectiveness of certain treatments and reinforcers for behaviors. In others, he observes problem behavior and experiments with treatments and their effectiveness. Finally, one article discusses the antecedents of specific problem behaviors like aggression and inappropriate sexual behaviors to find possible similarities in precursors to these behaviors. In all of these articles, Iwata used functional analysis of the problem behaviors. One of the papers discusses a specific inappropriate sexual behavior that was previously found to be untreatable for about 20 years. Iwata and his colleagues observe the behavior and find that, although it is reinforced automatically, proposed treatment was found to be effective. In the paper, functional analyses were conducted where types of footwear and gender were manipulated. Using the results from the analyses, a treatment was proposed, experimented, and found to be effective in eliminating the behavior. In another paper, Iwata and colleagues examine another seemingly automatically reinforced behavior of position bias in individuals. Position bias is a predisposed tendency to choose or select an answer due to its position or location. He conducts preference assessments for this behavior and evaluates the effectiveness of the treatments proposed in the paper. He also examines more problem behavior, specifically inappropriate sexual behaviors, aggression, and property destruction, and their precursors in another paper. Iwata and his colleagues find that each type of problem behavior tends to have a more frequently used precursor. As we can see from all of these papers summarized here, Iwata's major interest is in examining aspects of problem behavior, whether it be the effectiveness of a treatment, proposition of a treatment, or antecedent of a behavior. Iwata uses functional analysis in many of these papers to examine the overall function of the behavior and what variables could influence the behavior to occur. Iwata developed, models, uses, and shows how functional analysis of problem behavior can be helpful in observing, analyzing, and effectively treating problem behavior. If I were to interview Brian Iwata, here would be my questions. What are the benefits of a functional analysis of a problem behavior? Do you see any problems with the use of a functional analysis? After finding an effective treatment of a behavior with a 20-year history, do you believe that a functional analysis of problem behavior is the solution to finding an effective treatment for all problem behavior? In finding frequently used precursors to 3 specific problem behaviors, do you think this would assist in finding an effective generalized treatment for these behaviors? Finally, do you think your finding of edible reinforcers having a tendency to be favored puts any more meaning toward the idea of food being a primary reinforcer? Overall, Iwata examined various aspects of a variety of problem behaviors and conducted a functional analysis of these problem behaviors. His development of the concept of a functional analysis has impacted the world of behavior analysis in that it assists analysts in evaluating the variables that impact and influence problem behavior. Iwata was not only able to assist individuals with problem behavior that was difficult to treat, but also pave a road for other analysts to further find effective treatments via his research and use of functional analyses. These are the resources I used to create this presentation. Thank you for listening to and watching my presentation on Brian Iwata.